He's never been the star, my mom whispered at my farewell party. I just shrugged and said, then maybe stop living off my bank account, and left them with a fraud report. Tyler, my cousin, raised a glass of fizzy pomegranate juice with his smug grin like he owned the room. Maybe this is my time to shine, he said, soaking up the attention. I just landed the lead role in a movie, but in seconds, my goodbye party turned into his celebration. Everyone froze, unsure if he was serious. Then Aunt Nancy started clapping, others joined in, Uncle got up to hug him, and Mom smiled proud as ever. Tyler was obviously her favorite, and somehow, everything he did always outshined anything I accomplished. There I was, holding a half-finished Sprite, watching my moment slip away. Balloons saying, "Good luck, Caleb," floated near the ceiling, but no one cared anymore. The cake meant for me sat untouched, frosting drying and cracking. I slipped into the kitchen unnoticed. Well, except for the dog who followed me, just as bored. Someone spilled soda in the living room, and guess who got told to clean it? Not Tyler, not his noisy group celebrating with their sparkling drinks, just me. So I did it. No complaints. I wiped the sticky floor while they raised glasses for Tyler's big news. My hands shook, not from anger, but from this cold, familiar feeling, emptiness. The whole house buzzed with joy, but none of it was for me. That night, I didn't say a word. I forced a fake smile when Tyler looked at me and said, "You're up next, man. Don't be mad I got the spotlight." I wasn't mad, I was done. Next morning, something shifted. Mom was the first up, coming into the kitchen in her robe, mumbling about needing coffee. I'd already packed, early flight, didn't want to give anyone one last chance to ignore I was leaving. Then she saw it, right by the coffee maker on the counter. Her hand froze over the cupboard handle. She stared at it like it wasn't real. Didn't pick it up. Just stared. "Caleb," she whispered, voice shaky. "What is this?" I didn't answer. Closed my suitcase, stood tall, and walked right past her. She didn't follow. Just stood there staring at what I left behind. It wasn't always like this. Years ago, I believed being dependable meant something. I thought if I kept showing up, helping, doing the stuff no one wanted, they'd finally see me, not as the backup, not the second option when the other cousins were busy, but as Caleb. But I should have known better. When I was 12, Mom skipped my piano recital to take Tyler to a commercial audition. He didn't even get the part, but I remember standing behind the curtain, hoping she'd come in. She never did. Tyler landed his first ad at 16 for some burger joint. I remember Mom crying when he showed up on TV like he'd won an Oscar. When I got into Columbia, she texted back, "That's nice. Let us know if you need help moving." I didn't. I moved in alone, like I always did. 4 years, I swallowed all the quiet ways they pushed me out, the family events they forgot to tell me about, birthday cards that showed up late or not at all. Still, I kept showing up. I thought if I was helpful, they'd love me. But here's the truth, they didn't. When I got a job offer in Berlin, my dream role, and told everyone I was moving, I thought this time I'd finally get the celebration I deserved. My parents suggested a small goodbye gathering at home. Mom said it felt too quick, but I agreed. I helped plan it all, cleaned the house, picked the food, printed the signs, bought all the decorations myself. They all kept telling me, "You're making this a big deal." But no one offered a hand, no one asked what songs I liked or what kind of dessert I wanted. Then Tyler showed up like some celebrity, took over the night. But honestly, that wasn't even the worst part, that came later. Around midnight, after the party was over and the house was empty, I heard Mom in the kitchen, quietly cleaning plates and talking on the phone. "Honestly, it's probably for the best he's leaving," she said. "Caleb's never been the shining one in the family. He's always too intense. Maybe Berlin will keep him busy. Maybe help him stop trying so hard." I didn't say a word or walk in. I just went upstairs. The next morning, before sunrise, I packed quietly, walked through the house one last time. Then I opened a drawer where I kept old receipts, and pulled out something I'd stumbled on days earlier, a moment when life just drops the truth right in front of you. It was a financial paper, one that should have been mine, but wasn't anymore. Someone had been taking money from my bank account to pay for Tyler's acting lessons, photo shoots, even his trips to LA. And the name signing off. My mom's. Behind it was a printed message, folded and tucked away. It was from her, sent to Tyler's agent. I'll transfer the money from Caleb's bank. He won't notice. He never asks. So I left that envelope right there by the coffee machine. No explanation. No warnings. Just facts. I watched her face go pale when she found it. Saw her lips move, softly saying my name. Saw the fear grow in her eyes when she realized I knew. I stayed quiet, grabbed my bag, and walked out. But I'll never forget her weak voice behind me. Caleb, wait. I didn't stop. For once, I wasn't the quiet helper. I wasn't the one doing what they wanted. I was done. When I landed in Berlin, the sky was still dark. The cold air brushed the taxi windows as the driver hummed a slow, unfamiliar tune. I should have felt excited, starting fresh, chasing my dream. But I couldn't stop picturing her face when she realized the truth. Then the texts came, 5 hours later. Mom, can we talk? It's not what it seems. Mom, please come back. Let's figure this out. We love you. Then Tyler's text. Tyler, seriously? You're upset over a few $1,000? Grow up. A few thousand. They'd taken over 14,000 USD from me. Slowly, over 2 years. And they knew I wouldn't ask because to them, I was the quiet one, the steady one, the one holding things together so Tyler could shine. Not anymore. I didn't reply or answer calls. I focused on work, on building something new. For the first time, I was somewhere nobody called me the extra cousin. I was just Caleb, and I loved that. But peace didn't last. 3 weeks later, at work, I got a call. The number was hidden. No idea why I picked up. Maybe I was just done hiding. Caleb, it was my dad. I hadn't heard from him in months. His voice was tired, like he was reading someone else's lines. We're coming tomorrow. Your mom and Tyler want to talk. This can't go on. I laughed, a cold, empty laugh. Go on. You mean after I leave because you all stole from me? After Tyler made my goodbye party about himself? After I was left scrubbing soda like I was the help? He sighed slowly. Just confused. No, I said sharply. It's betrayal. Call it what it really is. The next day, I got a message from my building's front desk. Hello, Caleb. Your relatives stopped by and left several notes. They asked to be let upstairs, but we followed your usual instructions and denied entry. They said they'll return tomorrow at 10 a.m. Let us know if you want us to block them again. I didn't answer. The next morning, I waited by the door. Right at 10:07, there was a knock. I opened it. There stood my mom, wearing that gray coat and that fake mix of concern and control I knew too well. Behind her, Dad had his hands shoved in his coat pockets, and Tyler was off to the side, rocking dark shades, a scarf, and that smug fashion model vibe. Hello, sweetheart, Mom said slowly. Can we come in? I stepped aside, not for them, but for me. I wanted to hear what they had to say. I needed to look them in the eye and see if they'd admit what they'd done. They sat awkwardly on the couch. I leaned against the kitchen counter with my arms crossed. No coffee, no fake kindness, just straight-up confrontation. Mom started, Caleb, we did something wrong. I did something wrong. I was under pressure. Tyler's career was falling apart, and you've always been dependable. Tyler jumped in. You didn't even notice the money was gone. Come on, it's not like we broke into a vault. I stared right at him. You took from me, and you did it while using my family name. Dad finally spoke up. We came here to apologize. I raised an eyebrow. Yes, Mom said, but we also need to move on. We want the family back together. There it was, the need, not a sorry. Not an, I was wrong. Just, we need you. Because they missed the guy who always paid the bills, loaned money without asking, and never fought back. I'm not coming back, I said flat. Silence. Mom's face twitched. Caleb, don't be overly emotional. Overly emotional? I laughed. You faked my name, stole my money in secret, turned my big night into Tyler's party, and when I wasn't loud enough, you called me jealous. Tyler rolled his eyes. I didn't even know about the money. That was me, Mom said. I thought it was fair since you don't do social media or cry on cue. You've never been good at supporting people, Tyler snapped. You act perfect, but you've been jealous of me since we were kids. Jealous? Like when Mom framed your headshot above my college diploma. Or gave you the biggest bedroom because your art needed space. That kind of jealousy. Mom stood up. That's enough. No, it's not. I didn't raise my voice to her, ever, but this wasn't a kid talking. This was a man speaking to the people who built their comfort by keeping me quiet. You want the truth? I asked. Fine. I sent money when Dad lost his job. I paid hospital bills when insurance wouldn't cover them. I paid for your car, Tyler, and never once got a thank you. But the moment I stopped being useful, I wasn't wanted anymore. That's not true, Dad whispered. I turned to him. You knew. You ignored it because it was easier to let Mom handle it. Easier to believe Tyler would be the one to help everyone someday. I will succeed, Tyler shouted. I hope you do, I said, because from now on, you cover your own expenses. Mom folded her arms. We came to fix things. No, I said, you came to restart the same pattern, so I'd forgive, forget, and keep being your personal ATM. Dad stood, voice soft. Caleb, please hear us out. I've been listening, I snapped. My whole life. Now it's your turn. I walked to the desk and grabbed a folder. Inside was an official document cutting off their access to my joint accounts, a fraud complaint, and a detailed list of charges. I already reported it to the bank. I handed them the envelope. Tyler stared at it like it might blow up. You wouldn't actually do this, he said. I already did. You're tearing the family apart over money, Mom said, stunned. No, I said, calm. I'm breaking the lie that we were ever really a family. All three of them just froze, shocked and speechless. I opened the front door. I've got work, I said. You can leave on your own. Mom's voice cracked. If you walk away like this. I cut her off. I'm not walking away. I'm breaking free. Then I shut the door. They left without another word. No shouting, no slammed doors, just quiet footsteps fading down the hall. But that silence felt loud. It filled my apartment like smoke from a fire I'd started myself. Part of me thought I'd feel peace or closure. I didn't, not yet. Because I already knew what was coming. The act, the fake change, the guilt trips, the mind games. They wouldn't just let me walk away, not after I became the villain in their story. It started that very evening. Mom, how could you do this to your own family? Dad, we crossed continents for you. Tyler, stop making this a big deal. Then Mom posted something on Facebook. We try our best for our kids. Sometimes they forget who helped them most. We raised a child, not someone distant. But God knows. God sees. Yeah, he sure does. And I bet he's got receipts too. I didn't respond. Didn't post. Didn't explain. I just watched the replies roll in, old family, church friends, even my music teacher from school sending prayers and support. He'll come around eventually. Kids can be distant sometimes. Thinking of you, Mary. No one asked for my side. No one wondered if maybe the quiet son finally snapped after being pushed too far. That was fine. While they felt sorry online, I was rebuilding, starting with me. That first night, I couldn't sleep. I stayed up staring at the streetlights outside my window, Berlin humming quietly in the distance like the start of something new. My stomach twisted, not with shame but from finally breaking free after carrying everyone else's emotions for so long. The next day, I left the family group chat, unfollowed Tyler on social media, and blocked my parents' numbers. I even pulled out the college photo album Mom made and tossed it, page after page of fake smiles at events they barely showed up for. I didn't need memories of the person I pretended to be. 7 days later, a call from an unknown number rang my phone. I let it go. It rang again. And again. Finally, I picked up. Hi. A pause. Then a soft breath. Caleb, it's Aunt Nancy. I froze. We hadn't talked in almost 5 years. She was the family outcast, the one who moved to Portugal and married someone the rest didn't approve of. I heard about everything, she said gently. I braced for judgment, a lecture, anything. But instead she said, "Well done." I was stunned. What? I saw the post. Your mom always looked innocent, but you've always been the strong one. You just didn't see it. I slumped into my chair. I didn't think anyone noticed. We did, she said. Some of us always knew. We just stayed quiet. That was the first time I cried, not because I was sad, but because someone finally understood. Things got worse before they got better. Tyler dropped a dramatic podcast about toxic brothers. No names mentioned, but everyone knew who it was about. Then a gossip mag picked it up. New actor Nathaniel Green talks heartbreak, betrayal, and how LA helped him heal. I laughed so hard I almost spilled my drink. LA helped him heal? I paid for his first 3 acting coaches. I covered his rent for a year while he got his footing. But now he's the one who got hurt. Messages poured in, some defending him, others calling him selfish. One woman wrote, "Thank you. My brother's the Tyler in my family. I saved that one." 30 days passed. Then 60. What showed up? Quiet. No surprise calls. No sneaky guilt texts. No more cleaning up other people's messes. I woke up, made coffee, went to work, hung out with new friends, laughed, really laughed, without checking to see who needed saving. I started sleeping well. Enrolled in German classes. Joined a photo meetup. Agreed to a date, the first in 2 years. And every time I did something just for me, I remembered Mom's face when I told her, "I'm not leaving. I'm escaping." Because that's the real story. This wasn't payback. It wasn't to hurt them. It was me finally giving myself something I'd always given them: care. Then came the last message, an email from Tyler. "Hey, just wanted to let you know /" I finally get it. Not the whole picture, but enough. You were right. No apologies, no fake sorrow, just that he didn't beg for forgiveness. I didn't offer it. I just replied, "Thanks for saying that. I hope you find peace." And that was it. For the very first time in my life, I wasn't a side character in someone else's story. I was the one writing it. Sometimes my hand still reaches for my phone out of habit, ready to send a silly photo or a joke only my family would have gotten. Then I remember, there is no us anymore, and for the first time, that thought doesn't hurt. It frees me. Because I finally learned something my family never wanted me to know. I'm not damaged. I just never learned how to betray myself the way they taught me. They raised me to shrink, to nod and agree, to carry everyone else's emotional weight and call it loyalty, to suffer quietly just to hear a "good job" now and then. But that version of me is done. They don't write my life anymore. I do. I thought the hardest part would be letting them go, but it wasn't. The hardest part was giving up the dream that one day they'd treat me better, that one day I'd finally mean something to them. I let go of that dream, and strangely, that's when peace found me. A few weeks ago, I stood at a train stop in Berlin on a crisp spring morning. The sunlight cut through the chill as I sipped my coffee. A stranger bumped into me and said, "Sorry," in German. I answered fluently. He smiled. I smiled back. That moment hit me. I belong here. Not just in Berlin, but in this body, this voice, this life, one where my words don't tremble anymore. Later that day, my former landlord sent me a message. A letter from my mom had arrived at my old place. She'd written it by hand. I opened the scanned image, 3 pages of guilt trips wrapped in just enough sweetness to pass for care. The last lines read, "We always wanted what's best for you. I wish you could see that you've changed." I read it twice, then deleted it. No reply, no goodbye, no pretending. Because yes, I've changed. I don't believe anymore that being born into a family means they get to destroy your soul. Funny thing, they called me quiet. I wasn't quiet. I was watching, paying attention, surviving. Now I'm louder than all of them, not with shouting, but with how I live my life. I'm building something real. True friendships. A home where the phone ringing doesn't trigger panic. A version of me that feels honest and whole. Last weekend, I hosted dinner with new friends. We drank pomegranate juice on the balcony and talked about books, songs, bad dates. Someone asked about my family. I smiled and said, I had one once, but I got an upgrade. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Healing doesn't always sound like soft music or meditation. Sometimes it feels like fire burning old chapters. You were never safe inside. Here's the truth. I'm not selfish. I'm not dramatic. I'm not too emotional. I'm not the villain in their broken story. I'm the one who said no, and meant it. And if that makes me the black sheep, I hope my flame is bright enough to guide the next quiet soul still stuck. Final thought. You don't owe anyone your peace just because you're family. Being strong doesn't mean being silent. Walking away isn't weakness, it's power.